The legacy files take you back to the early days of reactive shooting science, honoring TPC's founder Ron Avery and presenting foundational concepts of the doctrine as originally taught.
Grip. Let's talk about the shooting grip. The shooting grip connects the gun to the hand. If that gun is sliding around in the hand while I'm shooting, I'm not going to be able to exert control when I'm shooting at high speeds. So I want to make sure that that grip is connecting my gun to my hand so that it doesn't slide around. So the first thing the shooting grip does, it provides a platform which allows the handgun to recoil in a consistent manner with minimum muzzle flip. The second thing the shooting grip does for me is it allows me to acquire sight alignment by feel. That's the kinesthetic awareness of the position of the gun so that when I raise it up level, I can feel my sights align, and when it comes into my visual field, my vision confirms that they're aligned. So it allows me to acquire sight alignment by feel. What I'd like to be able to do is control the firearm and minimize muzzle flip. In order to do that, we have to look at the basic components of a shooting grip. First, what I'd like to accomplish is I want to minimize the amount of leverage that the gun has to work against me. Think about a snake. If I had a snake and I was wiggling around, and where would I want to grab that to keep that thing from wiggling around? Go ahead and show me where you grab that. Right on the head-neck junction. Okay, that keeps that head stabilized. If I use that same example and on a gun, with the slide being the head of the snake, the grip being the body of the snake, and where the slide meets the frame being the head-neck junction, I want to get my hands as close to that head-neck junction as I can without interfering with the action of the slide. That effectively minimizes the amount of leverage the gun has to move in my hands. The second element that I'd like to talk about is maximize friction. What I want to do is get as much skin contact against the grips of that gun as possible so that it doesn't have any room to slide in my hand. If I open up a gap between my hands, I introduce an area for the gun to wobble. If I control that by getting my hand with a full wraparound grip all the way around the gun without any gaps, and I'm firmly underneath the tang, I'm firmly underneath the trigger guard, there's no gaps for that gun to move or slide around. Also, if I take this surface and I were to put some skid tape or checkering or any other material that increases the coefficient of friction, what I've essentially done is, say I was gripping the gun with 60 pounds of force, if I put skid tape on there, I've effectively increased my grip to about 85 to 100 pounds of force without changing anything, just by increasing the coefficient of friction. This would be like walking from dry pavement onto ice where it's slippery, and then I go back onto dry pavement. I've increased the friction, I can walk more comfortably, and I can go faster. The third element, biomechanical efficiency. Now we're looking at the human operator. If I were to take Jay and just do a simple handshake, what I'm going to ask you to do is just take my wrist and just try to bend it back towards my body, upwards, just like that. All I'm doing right here is I'm setting my wrist. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to wiggle my fingers and have him do the same exercise. The setting of the wrist and the squeezing of the fingers are two separate motor actions. Now let's do it 2 against 1, 2 hands. I'm going to wiggle my fingers, go ahead and bend it. I'm going to let him bend it as hard as he can, just try to use as much force, and while he's trying to bend it, I'm just going to sit here and let him do it. Minimum effort on my part. I'm setting my tendons in place. I have tremendous strength with the set tendons. Thanks, Jay, I appreciate that. So what I want to learn to do is learn to set the muscles and tendons in my hands and wrists and forearms. A way to do this is if I take my knuckles and simply put the first 2 knuckles right here, and I'm just going to put them against the wall and just lean into the wall. And now if I do that with both hands, I have to set my wrist to do this. Come off the wall, keeping that set, and then I'm simply going to put the gun in one hand, leaving my hands in that same position. I'll open my hands and I'll put this little bony part right here against the base of my thumb, and now I have my bones and tendons in a straight line along the side of this gun. Now I'm going to connect the gun to my hand by squeezing my fingers and seating it against the heels of my hands. So with this shooting grip, I've minimized leverage, I've maximized friction, and I've used biomechanical efficiency with the bones and tendons in a straight line. Those three things go into the shooting grip, and that makes for a superior control. The shooting grip performs two functions. Number one, it provides a platform which allows the handgun to recoil in a consistent manner with minimum muzzle flip. Number two, it allows you to acquire sight alignment by feel. The following principles are used. Number one, leverage. Reducing the leverage of the gun in recoil by getting the hands closer to the axis of recoil. Number two, maximize friction. Increase the surface area of the hand in contact with the firearm, using a material that enhances friction without losing any tactile sensitivity. Checkering or grip tape would be examples of this. Number three, biomechanical efficiency of the grip. Bones and tendons in a straight alignment, setting the grip tension and setting the wrist tension. These are two distinct motor actions.
If you like the video, visit the online training page on our website or check the calendar section to sign up for our in-person courses. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.